Hello everyone. So we are doing another technique of how I like to define curls, also known as wash and goes. And this particular model, her hair texture is looser than the other model, and I wanted to show you my technique with her because I wanted you to see both methods, or three different methods actually, that I use when typically defining curls, especially on shorter hair. But it's important for you to see the differences because depending on your hair type or your hair texture, you'll be able to practically apply the right technique to get the best results that you're looking for with your hair. So with this particular model, her hair is still very wet, just how the other model was. And right now I'm just applying some foam, and as I stated in other videos before, the way you apply your products, or the choice of product that you choose, is determined by the results you are looking for from your hair. So my model here, she doesn't really like a whole lot of firmness with hers, and so that's why I'm just using just the foam alone with just a hint of gel. So I probably applied literally maybe a dime size for her whole head after I applied the foam. And with the foam, you want to make sure you apply it to the scalp specifically, because you want to make sure the saturation goes all the way to the root, so that way you have a smooth and defined curl from the roots to the ends. So as you can see, starting at the nape of the neck all the way at the bottom and working my way up, my subsections that I'm taking are about 1 inch to 2 inches wide. And what determines how wide your subsections are is the thickness of your own hair. So my model here, her hair is pretty full and pretty thick, but let's say if your hair was 2 times as thick as hers, you may want to take smaller sections, and you may want to take a little bit more product or something like that, just to have a little bit more hold and definition. But as you can see, I'm literally taking my subsection and I'm doing a comb through first before I slide and rake that comb towards myself. So why I do this is because you want to make sure the curl is smooth and that the product is also evenly distributed along the hair strands. When it's not, sometimes that's when you get, frizzy spots, some spots that aren't as defined, and overall the look isn't cohesive. So like I said, I'm kind of taking like a zigzag kind of pattern. It doesn't have to be straight across. And as you can see, I'm actually kind of arranging them as I go. So I define my curl in that subsection, and sometimes you may see me take the end of the comb and kind of just go back to fill in spaces. Now, when you are doing this for yourself, I don't expect you to be able to see every little thing in the back of your head like this. So you will have to go by feel. But even with that, feel free towards the end. Let's say you go through and you just define your curls all over. What I would like you to do, or what I would suggest to do, is take a handheld mirror and turn to the back and look at your hair. If you see any gaps at the very end, go in with the rat tail comb and kind of hit a couple like squigglies with the end of the rat tail comb, just to fill in any gaps you may see or unwanted spaces before you dry your hair, before you sit under the dryer. That'll help you not feel so overwhelmed. It's just because I'm doing a model, I can see everything, so I'm just addressing the gaps as I go. But like I said, with you, address the gaps at the end. So we're at the top of her head. As you can see, her hair is a little longer up there, and so what did you see me just do? I use my fingers as well, kind of like the other technique that I showed you in the previous wash and go video with my type 4 client. And as you can see, I use my fingers to kind of rake it through as well. So I still got the product evenly distributed, but because her texture is longer, I knew that the rat tail comb would separate it way too much, and her look wouldn't come out like I would want it to. So working my way toward the top of the head, the very top, I am going to start kind of laying the hair where I want it to go. So I'm on the sides. I'm going to lay them toward the sides. If you want it apart, this is the time to kind of like figure out where you want that part to be. So that way you can arrange the curls to go where you want them to. So feel free to continue to watch, and I'll be back to talk about the finishing up look, because we get a little bit into baby hair in this video. I know some people really love baby hair. I'm kind of a fan. It depends. But I like to ask people if they desire baby hair or not, because I'll give it to them if they want it. But yeah, just continue to watch the technique and get the technique down, and stay tuned if you would like to see how I apply the baby hair, or how I do the baby hair, laying her edges down toward the end of the video. Okay, so as promised, here's the baby hair portion. So as you can see, I reached for my gel and I kind of mixed it in with the foam that was left on my fingers, and I'm just going in literally and applying some of that gel and foam mixture that's a little more concentrated right to her edges. So as you can see, her edges already started to lay down because of this, and now I'm taking the beginning tip of the rat tail comb and go ahead in with my swooping motions. You can do the same thing. Just be sure your hair is saturated really well before you do this. Make sure your hair is very wet and very saturated, because if your hair is dry by the time you get here, the effects won't be the same and you'll find yourself struggling with adding product.